Welcome back, Life Sciences. As I said, that break, really important, recharge, get the brain working again. We are looking at the concept of what an organelle is. And an organelle is not a cell. Okay, please remember that. An organelle is a little structure inside the cell that makes the cell able to do what it needs to do. So inside a cell, a plant or an animal cell, that's what we're looking at, eukaryotic cells, we are going to find little structures, and those structures each have a very specific function. We've seen so far that there's the nucleus, right, found in both plant and animal cells, and its main role is to control all the activities of the cell. It's kind of like the government. It decides everything that you need to do. Then we need to have a powerhouse. It needs to make, all right, electricity for us if we were like that, but it needs to make fuel. And that powerhouse was our mitochondrion. Then a very important organelles that mostly are busy with proteins, making of proteins, and those were our endoplasmic reticulum, which transported things throughout our cell. We saw the only non-membranous, all right, organelle, the ribosome, that makes this protein. And as I said to you, a lot of these concepts might be a bit foreign to you now, but you are necessary for the work that you are going to do in the future. We need to lay down the foundation. And then we looked at this Golgi Apparatus, who's kind of like the post office, packages the proteins and sends it on its way. So the mitochondria, the endoplasmic reticulum, the ribosomes, and the Golgi body, we're going to find in all cells. Now we're going to start to have a look at how are plant and animal cells different. What do plant cells, all right, need to have because of their function? Okay, so we're going to look at that concept. All right, so if we have a look, all right, at this diagram of a plant cell, already in our brain, what we're going to start to think of is the differences. And that's one of the things that you need to look at, all right, is what is the difference between a plant and an animal cell. Now, when I've circled these diagrams, the reason why the cell wall is in a dotted line is because the cell wall is not an organelle, okay? It is a boundary, but it's only found in a plant cell because the plant cell needs this rigid support system because it doesn't have the skeleton, but we do need to keep, all right, our plant cell nice. And you'll see the word we used was turgid. Now, the two organelles we're going to concentrate on here, all right, is we're going to look at the whole group of them, is called the plastids and the vacuole. Now, we're going to look at the vacuole. A plant cell and an animal cell both have a vacuole. However, we're going to see that in a plant cell, the vacuole plays a far larger, all right, role and is always far more prominent. Now, when we get to a lot of these things that we're going to look at, I want you to think of sometimes of your food. Okay, so we're now going to concentrate on this group called plastids. Now, the plants, right, could have a variety of these, and we're going to see if you can, all right, and recognize a lot of them. You also, when you look at plant organs and plant tissues, this is going to be important. So, guys, the first one we're going to look at is a chloroplast, and very simply, what a chloroplast is a structure. It's got a double membrane. Okay, now the secret is these. These are little layers. I always tell my kids to think of Rolos, the chocolate Rolo. And the reason I do that is here's a chocolate layer, and on the inside there is a liquid layer like the Rolo does. And what we're going to find over there is this very important liquid called chlorophyll. And what's so important with that, chlorophyll has this amazing relationship with the sun. And what happens is the sun's energy, when it falls on the leaf, the chlorophyll molecule is able to set in a whole variety of enzyme reactions. And what they ultimately do, we call that photosynthesis. And what is photosynthesis? Quite simply, a plant can make us food. That's very important. Plants make us food. Now you'll see the color that's very predominant on the board. What color is chlorophyll? All right, well, it's green. What color are plants? Most of them are green, and the reason why, this is what we see, this is the chlorophyll, and what happens is they absorb the green light, and that's why plants, all right, appear green. So this is what it would look like underneath the micrograph. Here's all the little layers, all right, of the chlorophyll. So this is what we're going to have. The chloroplast is going to undergo the process of photosynthesis. Now, you don't need to know this formula now, but basically what it is the sun's energy, all right, is able to take carbon dioxide and water, all right, from the plant, and this is what they make. I wonder if you recognize it, all right, when you did biochemistry, it's a glucose molecule. And if we make glucose molecules, what can we do? The glucose molecules we can store as carbohydrates, which is food. So the chloroplast, plants need to make food. Chloroplast is going to look at that, and it's the green one. Now the next plastid, all right, is a chromoplast. Now a chromo means color. Now plants have all got these colors, except when we go to have a look over here, when I go to the leaf, the one that you see, all right, is the green one. But I don't know if you've noticed when it's winter, all right, what happens is the chlorophyll it dies, the leaf dies, and it turns from green to a red color. And that's exactly what you're looking over here. The plant, when the leaf dies, basically it's going into rest. It takes a lot of energy to photosynthesize, so we just let the chlorophyll die, all right, and then the leaf changes color, and that color is you're going to now see the red, the chromoplasts. Guys, this is what your tomato looks like underneath a microscope. I'm hoping that you have the opportunity, if you scrape the tomato, that you are going to see what it looks like. And basically, all of these little things over here, all right, they are storing food that the plant has made, and these colors are what we call over here carotenoids. And what does that simply mean? That simply means these colors are actually quite important because they keep me healthy. Now, what else do plants need color for? They need colors for their flowers. Because what do the flowers need to do? The flowers need to attract pollinators. So when we look at the whole concept of what we have, all right, these colors, as I said to you, lovely colors. There's this vitamin A called beta carotene, which actually keeps us healthy. And then the flowers are all beautiful and colorful because they attract these pollinators, right? The insects and the flowers are attracted, and that is how pollination is going to occur. Now, the last one we're going to look at, the plastid, is a leukoplast. Leuko means colorless. Now, as you can see there, you're saying, oh, that's not color. Yes, they are. If you have a look at these cells, all right, they are colorless. But what we've done is we've used a stain. We have taken iodine solution, we've put a stain, and what color does iodine go? If there is starch present, what does it do? It goes a blue-black. So what are you looking at here? They are colorless, all right? They are colorless, but you are looking at a plastid that contains starch. Hello, guys. There's your potato chips, right? What is it? All the starch that's contained in there. Now, the next organelle that we need to look at is this concept of a vacuole. And a vacuole, all right, like a vacuum means a hollow space, plant cells have a very, very large vacuole. Have a look over here. It actually pushes everything to the side. And what is in this? Water and minerals. Right, but guys, what is this function of a vacuole? Imagine it's like a balloon. The plant stores water. Oh, the vacuole swells up and it pushes against the cell. And what does it do? The cell can be, the word is turgid. Right, I'll show you over here. This is the word we're looking for. All right, turgor pressure, turgid. So when we're looking at a cell that's turgid, when I water, say I water my plant, and what happens, all right, this plant is upright, I don't have a skeleton, and then I don't water my plant. And where does the water move? Out of the cell. High concentration to low concentration. Osmosis. Remember you did plasmolysis. And what happens? Out the water goes, and my plant wilts. It looks like it's dead. Then I water it. Where does the water go? Into the vacuole. And all of a sudden, there's my plant, looking beautiful, all right, and nice and firm, and it looks like a living plant again. The vacuoles in the animal cells, guys, are very small. They have a function, but only temporarily. They might just need to be used if the animal eats or if it needs to control its water, etc. Okay. That's all we have time for at the moment. We're going to take a quick break and we'll be right back.